Welcome to the Brandtelling Podcast, where we go beyond basic branding with powerful stories as told by brand builders, owners, and founders. Now, here are your hosts, Chief Brand Teller Arthur Germain and the Brand Chef Asaf Bachman.
As a business owner or founder, there is no better friend you can have than a knowledgeable accountant. Not your graphics designer, not your web developer, and sorry to say, not even your branding expert can provide you with the level of guidance and direction that you get with an experienced accountant.
But as an industry, not going to lie, they're kind of boring.
Yeah, some accountants can appear a little stuffed shirt.
What the heck does that mean?
Yeah, you know, a little smug, a little pompous, a little know-it-all. A guy who seems at home in a traditional office but not a lot of fun at a party.
I think you're being a little too general with your descriptions there.
Listen, you're absolutely right. My own accountant, George Kavoris, has helped me shape and shift my business for nearly 20 years. I seek his guidance and counsel before I make any kind of decisions based on revenue or taxes. And when my girls were little, George used to pull up to my home on his motorcycle. They asked what he was and what he did, and they decided he was the tax dude. And that has stuck for 20 years now.
So how does a progressive, forward-looking brand find a good fit with an accounting firm they can work with?
That's exactly what we're going to talk about on today's episode. Welcome back to the Brandtelling Podcast. I'm your host, Arthur Germain, and with me is my co-host, Asaf, the Brand Chef Bachman.
Thanks, Arthur. Our guest today is anything but bland and traditional. Joshua Kreitzman is partner at Kreitzman & Kreitzman CPAs, but forget that. What he says on the LinkedIn bio is that he is an entertaining and exciting certified public accountant, a rare breed, business owner's consigliere, guru of tax estimation, servant to the poor, butler to the great, comforter, philosopher, and a lifelong mate.
Josh, welcome to the podcast, and really, I love the Les Mis reference in your bio.
Did I actually? That's actually on LinkedIn.
That's on LinkedIn.
That tells you how often I actually,
take a look.
I've actually gone on LinkedIn.
I heard that, and I read that rather, and I said, I know that line. I know that line. I did
wrote
a quick
that.
Google.
No,
yes,
I wrote that.
Yeah, I figured.
No, that's all me. That's
we
all
may
natural.
make you sing that because we did that with Kevin. So
God.
Master of the house. You may have to do that to close.
Don't get me started.
So, Josh, can you tell our audience a little bit about your personal journey and how you became part of Kreitzman & Kreitzman?
Oh, sure. Yes. Well, I'm bland. I'm boring, and I'm also pompous. So it's going to be super short.
That was the trifecta. That
I know you said I wasn't
become
that thing, but I am. I just want to fit in with the rest of the accounting world. Just want to fit in. Ask me that question one more time.
So, how did your journey go from, when you were a wee lad until when you became part of Kreitzman & Kreitzman?
Oh, well, I grew up as a young boy. I grew up in Hauppauge, actually, which is like down the street from here.
Yep.
And I never wanted to be an accountant, actually. That was like that was like, if you could have picked a profession that was what Josh is going to do with the rest of his life, accounting would probably be at the very bottom. I was once told by my guidance counselor in high school, and feel free to edit any of this out if it's too much, but I was once told by my guidance counselor in high school when I was, we were choosing colleges, we sat down, and I'll never forget this, and he was like, yeah, Josh, I'm looking at your grades and I'm looking at everything, and I'm not really certain that you might even be going to college. And back then, college was like, if you had Suffolk Community listed in the graduate book, that was like, what a loser you were. So apologies to anybody who went to Suffolk Community, but
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that explains the hat. He wears the hat during the podcast, just so we all know.
He wears the hat when we play pickleball so that we have a target. So it's good.
It's transformative.
I could see that. You're a totally different person. You look taller.
I'm a totally different person.
You look fantastic.
At least 7 inches taller.
It's at least.
For anyone who's wondering, we'll have a link in the bio and the liner notes for the podcast to see my co-host in his chef's hat.
It's fantastic. So, yeah, I definitely did not want to ever be an accountant. In fact, I swore that I would never be an accountant, and here I am. But I actually went to school for theater, and I didn't know that people could do that. So I'm more one of those people that's like, one of those people that were, hey, what are you going to do with your life? And I'm like, I don't know, whatever comes up. I don't know if you've ever, my favorite quote, one of my favorite quotes, I have a lot of favorite quotes, but one of my favorite quotes is from a movie called Shakespeare in Love. And there's a scene where everything's going wrong. And then somebody says, this is a disaster. And he says, it'll all work out. And I say, how will it? And how will it all work out? And he goes, I don't know. It's a mystery. And that's kind of like my life philosophy is like, I don't know. Everything will get figured out. Where are you going to go to college? What are you going to do with your life? I don't know. Figure it out. Something will come along. And I happen to be good at, performing in theater and we were looking at schools and I didn't have the grades. Like I was not a great student and I could never get it together. All my friends were wonderful students and their parents loved them. And my parents probably didn't love me as much. Not sure. They still complain about how, if I need to be louder, you let me know. But this is going to be a long podcast. I can't even get through this first question. So basically, I decided to go to school for theater because I was good at that and I actually could get into a college for that. So I went and I auditioned and I didn't need grades. How about that? So, that worked out for everybody, especially me. So I went to school for 4 years for theater and my parents were always like, oh, Joshua, you probably should take some business courses. That's what my mom sounds like. It's what every Jewish mom on Long Island sounds like, just FYI. Yeah. That's just a generic sound. Joshua, you think you should take some business courses? Mom, leave me alone. I'm not taking business courses. You should minor in something. But I knew if I minored in something that I would end up doing that thing, and I didn't want to do that thing.
No plan B. Got to go with plan
A. That's it. Even no plan.
Yeah,
right? I mean, technically, I had no plan.
As you said, it'll all work out in the end.
It'll all work out. How will it? I don't know. Right. It's a mystery.
It's a mystery.
So I ended up doing that, and then my wife and I graduated together. Well, we weren't married at the time, but we were dating at the time. Now we're married. Still married, and we left school and went to do theater, and she wanted to go back to grad school, and I decided, I got to get a real job because this is not going to work out if neither of us are working. We're poor as it is, let alone all of our friends are moving to Plainview and Jericho and Syosset, having kids and getting houses, and we're like stuck in a 1-bedroom apartment in Kew Gardens, So I was like, well, maybe I should get a job. Maybe I should figure this out. And I ended up as a bookkeeper at Park Avenue Synagogue in the city, which was fun. That was really cool.
What made you choose bookkeeping?
I just was good at it. So when I was 13 years old in high school and, growing up, my parents had an accounting firm. So instead of getting a job as in a grocery store or whatever it was, I would go to my parents' office and I would do bank reconciliations or I would work on clients and do tax returns, small, easy stuff, whatever it is. So I was good at it. It wasn't something I didn't know. It just was it's just something I do. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, maybe I'll try bookkeeping. And I was working with a temp agency and they were like, what do you want? Kind of jobs you want? You were an actor. And I'm like, well, I could do bookkeeping, I guess. I know numbers. I figure I could do that. And they're like, okay. And they got me a job as a temp at Park Avenue Synagogue. And the crazy thing was the program that they used at Park Avenue Synagogue to do their bookkeeping was the same exact accounting program that my parents used in their accounting firm.
Wow.
For their clients. And I'm like, I'm like an expert at this. And they were like, really? You know how to use this program? I'm like, yeah, I've used this for my whole life. And they're like, great, no one here knows how to use it.
Wow. There you go.
And so basically I ended up being their expert in how to fix their bookkeeping as a temp. And then they hired me full time. And then I was like, well, if I'm going to be a bookkeeper, I might as well be a CPA and get my CPA and go work for my father and my uncle. And so I went to my father and I said, hey, you remember when I said I never wanted to be a bookkeeper? Remember when I was like, leave me alone. I don't want to talk about this. And I'm like, yeah, well, I think it's a good time to talk about it. And the day I brought it up happened to be the day that somebody in his office quit.
Wow.
And so he's like, well, we do have an opening for someone. So if you're interested, maybe we'll bring you on. And as long as you get your CPA, you can do it. And I'll be honest, like I said, it'll all work out.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a mystery. These things just happen. So that's just kind of how it goes for me. Things just occur.
It sounds like, to me, it sounds like your dad knew this was all going to happen and pretty much just laid out the plans.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that he wanted it to happen. Well, I wasn't. I got paid.
Oh, okay.
But my mom definitely didn't want it to happen. She wanted me to stay as an actor.
Really?
Yeah.
She really enjoyed that.
I think she didn't want me in the family business because she wanted it to end at some point, and she knew that if I came along, that they would feel obligated to keep it going when they maybe should have retired or sold it or done something else with it, and it kind of forced them into an obligation to stick around.
So
that's the feeling I get.
Take a moment there and tell me, as I look at your website and you talk about being a family business and working with family businesses, what's that dynamic like?
Well, so it's definitely interesting. There are great parts to it. There's a lot of understanding. of situations. You know, if you have a family, you know, your kid's doing something in school, you're like, okay, I'm going to some elementary school thing that my kid's doing. I'll see you later. And no one's like, oh, you can't really leave. You know, you got time. You got to do work.
Right.
You know, they're going too, right? When we go on vacation, you know, we're all on the same plane.
Right.
So, you know, there are perks to doing
some
it.
larger companies don't allow that to happen.
Right.
The partners can't all go on the same plane together. So.
Well, we probably shouldn't have done that. It probably wasn't the best move. It probably wasn't the smartest move. But, you know.
I think you're channeling your inner Anthony Vlachos here. Shout out to Anthony Vlachos.
Oh, yeah? How's that?
Well, it's all about risk, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sure. I get it.
Risk management and mitigation.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
So I thought you meant the being good looking and have a beard, but I just have the beard.
No, buddy. No. But speaking about good looking, your website looks incredible.
Oh, thanks.
And super traditional and really boring. But then, you know, you got your gold and brown color scheme, and the logo definitely looks like it's in the Bodoni font. It's been great typeface.
The what font?
Bodoni.
Oh, that's what I was going for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I told him. I was like, I want something that says
Traditional since 1920.
Yet exciting.
Yes, exactly. Right. 1920s, I think, when he did it. But you know, that's where.
Well, that's when my website's from, 1920.
There you go.
That makes sense then.
That's good. But I think that's where the tradition ends, because your copy is hysterical. I don't think I've ever read anything like it for a professional services firm. I'm going to read a couple of lines for our audience. We are cool as hell, badass with numbers, and we love what we do. No ties, no slacks, no bullshit. We are not your grandfather's accounting firm. I don't think I've seen that on any other large accounting firm website. They all say things like, we work in every single industry that you could possibly name, and we're about to name them all.
Right.
And we do all of these 500 different practice areas, and now we're going to go into excruciating detail about each practice area. I don't know how appealing that is to people, but your copy is fantastic.
Well, I appreciate that. So I will go ahead.
So I was going to ask, how did you come up with the copy? But more importantly, what was the reaction to the copy from people that read it? Maybe existing clients, maybe leads?
So I came up with the idea for this to reflect our personality, right? And I don't, as far as accounting goes, right, everybody plays by the same set of rules. We all play by the same IRS rules. We all play by the same AICPA, FASB rules, right?
And that's expected, right? I, as a customer of an accounting firm, expect you to work exactly the same as every other
table
accounting firm.
stakes, right?
We're all playing by the same set of rules. We all have the same guides. That's how we play, right? And so I didn't want anyone to get the impression that we are like any other accounting firm that is a stuffed shirt, right? We're not that type of accounting firm, and I want to be who I am. I don't want to pretend that I'm some other firm, like some other accounting firm that walking in where we've got our cubicles and we've got our button-down shirts and our ties and we come in with our calculators. You know, I want to give the people who are potential clients or the people who are clients, like, listen, this is who we are. You don't pay us for our clothes. You don't pay us for what you pay us because of our brains. So if we walk in jeans and polo shirts and sweatshirts or whatever it is that we're wearing, what does that matter? You're getting the same advice, if not better than other people. What does it make a difference? And so I wanted a website that reflected that, so I can disqualify people who are like, well, I want my accountant to be like like one of the nerds from Revenge of the Nerds, as opposed to the nerds from Real Genius, right?
Yeah, right?
So if you've ever seen the movie Real Genius, like, that's who we are. We're Chris Knight. We're Mitch. Like, we're the cool nerds, you know? We're not the losers. And we are nerds, like, don't get me wrong, you know. We still, make our peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and put them in bags, and we still have our routines that we can't be distracted from. But, we're not like those accounting firms that you're going to come in and be like, another stupid conversation. One of the things that we're really good at is communicating with people who don't have the knowledge and the acumen that they need or that they want to have when it comes to all this complicated business jargon, because that's who we are, right? Yeah. So how to best reflect who we are is to just say it. Right. And the thing is, I came up with the idea that I wanted our website to look exactly like those other websites, because if you're not paying attention, you go to the website and like, it's boring crap, guy. But if you are looking at the things, I love putting subtle things. My favorite thing is putting in these little subtle things, little hints, little Easter eggs in things. And if you catch it, great.
Yeah.
If you never catch it, I don't ever point them out. I don't ever say anything about it. But if you're in on the joke, I don't know if you caught at the very beginning and underneath Kreitzman and Kreitzman, where it says,
no big whoop, right?
Call me, we'll talk.
Call
no
me,
big
we'll
whoop.
talk. No big whoop.
Which is from Saturday Night
Saturday Night
Live,
Live, yeah.
right? Mike Myers,
Right,
Linda
Coffee
Richmond,
Talk,
Coffee
yeah.
Talk.
I saw all of those. I started laughing. Asaf and I were pointing at one another across the table while you were talking because he said, this is exactly the kind of website that I think when I think accounting, and I see it. He says, but then you read 2 inches in and you're like, oh my God, what did they say?
Exactly.
I saw the no big whoop and I'm like, I almost started doing the, go talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
No one
Talk amongst yourselves. Mormon Tabernacle Choir was neither Mormon nor Tabernacle nor choir. Discuss. Those are the types of people I want. I want people to call me and say, I used to have, it's not up there right now because we eliminated the fact that you could do the calendar invites or whatever. But there was a thing there that it asked you 3 questions. And the first question was, what's your name? The second question was, what type of business do you run? And the third question is, what's the airspeed velocity of a swallow carrying a coconut?
And the answer is, do you mean African swallow or European swallow?
Right.
Exactly.
Or you just write, ha ha ha, I love that. Or, yellow, no blue, whatever.
Anything to acknowledge that you read.
Anything to acknowledge that you understand what you're getting yourself into when you want to hire me.
Yeah.
And the thing is, most people are like, I don't understand what this question is. And they're automatically disqualified. Like, I don't want to work with people that don't understand what we're going for here. Like, yes, we're serious. Yes, this is about business. Yes, this is about money. Yes, this is about saving money and taxes. And yes, it can be serious. But if we're not having a good time doing it, then I don't want to do it. I didn't go to school for marketing, but I will say that I don't know what it is, but I have an innate thing that when I know something that works, like I'm like, that works.
Right.
When it doesn't work, I'm like, it's not right. There's something that's not right about it. Now, I don't have technical training. Like I can't tell you, oh, that's this thing, but I can get there. It's like it's something that I feel. It's not anything else. It's just in it.
That is branding.
It's not, I don't consciously think about it, but it's like movies or theater. I know when it's right. Mm-hmm. You get a feeling. Like you guys get a feeling. You read a copy and you're like, this feels right.
That's the creative side in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, I think that is a huge differentiator for you. Yeah.
Right.
We're going to come back in just a moment, not 3, and not 4, and 5 is right out, but we'll be back in just a minute.
So Arthur, can you tell me about this Reimagined Brand Bootcamp that we're launching?
Sure. One of the things that we found when working with clients is that, especially some of the mid-sized clients, founder, owner, they really want to be very active, very hands-on in what we're doing in the brand. They don't want to just hand it over and say, here, go build a brand for me. What they want to do is help to craft, and be a part of the brand. So what we've decided to do is build the brand building bootcamp in a way that they can do that. And we're doing that in 4 sessions plus a bonus session. So 5 sessions that take them through from building a brand foundation to
talking about the brand message.
Right.
Then we're going to get into
the
visual
visuals.
design.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we're going to end it off with content strategy to help you take all of this information and knowledge and actually put it to use to literally grow your business.
Yeah. And that's the important thing, because it's not just, hey, here's a brand, but it's how do you use that brand actively in your marketing from then on. So those 4 sessions, and then the bonus 5th session where we're going to introduce some of the partners and tools that we ourselves use when we're putting together these brands. I really think it'll be exciting. And we're doing it in cohorts. I really hate that word. I have to think of a better word, but little sessions. So you'll be working with your peers and we will put that together. We're going to coach people through it. And I think that that's a good way to do it.
Right. We're going to get the brand out of them and help them show the whole world.
Yeah, help them express the brand. Exactly.
Their intended market. So we're going to be launching this soon. If you want to get on the wait list, I urge everybody to go to thebrandbuildingbootcamp.com. Sign up for the wait list. It's the only thing you can do on the website. And stay tuned in your email. We're going to be sending out notices of when we're going to sign people up. People who are on the wait list are going to get a discount. It's not going to be a small discount. it's going to be a great discount. So sign up for the waitlist today and stay tuned.
And we're back with our guest, Josh Kreitzman from Kreitzman and Kreitzman CPA. And we're talking about being an accountant, but really being non-traditional about it. At the break, you started talking about how you used to joke with people about when they sign, just fill out a form just to see if they get it. And it's often asked, how much do your clients get it? Do they get who you are, the humor, the difference?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they get, when I work with my clients, it's not about me, it's about them.
Right.
And the thing is, I would like to think that when we work together, they know what they're they know what they're getting into. But I'm here to keep it calm. Yeah. I've been told multiple times that I'm like the calmest person that they've ever worked with. The calmest. How are you so calm? Yarn, shouldn't you be freaking out now? Isn't today whatever, April 14th? Why are you like the calmest person? Shouldn't you be freaking out about something? And the thing is, like, it's intentional. I'm not freaking out because if I'm freaking out, then who's the one who's rational? Yeah. And so, I would say my clients are aware of who they're getting and what they're working with. And yes, I'm here to bring calm, into tense situations, right? You're freaking out. You get an IRS notice. You get a New York State notice. You get something happens where you're getting audited or something bad is occurring. Money is disappearing. You don't understand why. Well, it doesn't serve anyone for me to be the one flipping out about it. Right. I'm here to just keep it chill and say, listen, we're going to work through this problem. We're going to figure it out and we'll get to the bottom of it and we'll get there. And yes, I will be bringing levity to the situation, and sometimes it's appreciated, sometimes it isn't. I'll give you an example where it wasn't. Yesterday, I got a phone call from someone. They work in Baltimore, they work in Maryland, and they go, they had an issue and they needed to get something, and they call me up, and the first thing they say to me is, I'm like, I don't know, State in the Union. One of the first states to sign the Declaration of Independence. Some people say it's shaped like a coffee cup, capital's Annapolis, so what else? And they're like, no, I mean, like, what's up with Maryland? Why are they being annoying and why are they sending us notices? And I'm like, oh, okay. So that wasn't really appreciated, but I still felt like the joke needed to happen because it kind of broke the tension a little bit.
It was there. It needed to be said.
Whether it was appreciated or not. But listen, sometimes just like in comedy, sometimes it works and then sometimes it doesn't.
So speaking of which, what do you feel is the biggest obstacle when trying to get across to clients that, your brand keeps chill?
That's a good question. What is the biggest obstacle that the brand is about being calm and chill?
Right.
I mean, I think sometimes people think that I'm not passionate enough, maybe. I think that could be a problem. Sometimes they feel like I'm not advocating for them and like I'm too calm almost.
Maybe they're so used to other accountants being so frantic that they feel like it's a part of the job. Yeah,
it could be that, maybe they feel like I'm not jumping fast enough. Right. I like to do things on my own time. Like I do things on my own terms. So, I tell people I'll take care of it. And then maybe sometimes it's not fast enough for them. And I have to remind them like, listen, I have my methods. If you want someone who's going to jump when you say how high, maybe there's somebody else that needs to do the work, not me.
I know people who work in offices where wherever they walk around, they make sure to hold a clipboard and just look like they're doing something because that's what's expected. Like, oh, you look busy, you must be busy, But that's just movement. Movement doesn't equal actually getting anything done sometimes.
We're all about efficiency. We're all about being effective and simple. That's pretty much the goal in our firm. That's what we like to do. We don't really want to waste energy. Yeah. Right? I'm not really about wasting energy. I'm about, again, maybe this comes from the theater background, but basically everything has a purpose, right? If the best movies I feel, the best TV shows, the best films, the best, shows, everything you see is nothing's wasted, right? Everything is there for a reason. There's a purpose behind it. There's always a reason behind it, right? Why is that person wearing this? Why is that person mentioning this part, right? One of my favorite playwrights is Chekhov, right? Mm-hmm. And one of his main principles of playwriting is if there's a gun that gets introduced in the first act, it must go off by the third act. Right? So there should be nothing that gets introduced that's wasted. And I know that's such a weird thing to like pair theater acting with my philosophy on how to run an accounting firm or the brand of an accounting firm. But really, I don't try not to introduce anything that's not going to be useful.
Right.
I mean, what's the point?
If it doesn't advance the plot,
if it doesn't, if it doesn't make the story better, if it doesn't give information and something important, then what are we even doing here?
Sounds like something that gives you strength to set your brand apart from every other accountant.
Pretty much. I mean, that's how I look at it. I mean, the knowledge I have that I gained outside of business, I try to use as much as possible because no one is really looking at it that way.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about the kind of clients that you work with, because I know on the website you say, family businesses. Is that your kind of your core focus?
I think we gravitate towards that because we are a family business and we also like to give nice hugs. And most people who are not family-oriented business don't understand that. They're like, get off me, why are you touching me? And, and then the lawyers get involved, it becomes a problem. But if you want to look at industries, we do really well with construction. We do really well with trades. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we have the ability to take something that's really complicated, like a tax code or businesses and bank codes and things like that, where it gets, you get a banker coming in or an insurance agent coming in and they try to tell a guy who's running a construction company, we need all this information. And then they look at me and they look at them and go, what are you asking me for? I know how to do X, Y, and Z. I know how to build a house. I don't know how to. Right. I know how to do a driveway. I don't know what you're asking me for. So I think we have a really great ability to take that information from person A and then translate it for person B. And I think that gives comfort to people and helps them feel that they know things are getting taken care of, that everything is going to be okay.
Right.
I always, when I go into a conversation with someone, the motivation I have or the thing I have in the back of my mind is, listen, it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. It's all going to be fine. It's all going to work out. I don't know. How will it?
It's a mystery.
Exactly. That beat you to it?
Yeah. I was also going to say it's just probably something similar they say to their customers. You don't know anything about paving a driveway. Don't worry. I'll take care of it. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
How? We don't know. It's a mystery.
How are you going to do it when it's, pouring rain or there's a hurricane or, this got ripped up? It's going to get taken care of.
We'll figure it out.
So
figure it out.
What's next for your brand and your business? Is your next generation going to join the firm or
why?
I hope they are way better than me. I don't know. I mean, I haven't really thought about that. My kids are 16 and 13, so I know one wants.
Can they do taxes though?
Yeah.
I mean,
they should both be well versed
really,
on the software by now, right?
At this point, yeah. I mean, my oldest daughter is like, well, I need to make some money, so you got to train me on how to do this stuff. Because she said to me last night.
She's asking.
She said to me last night, I got to learn how to do my taxes. I was like, why do you have to learn how to do your taxes? And she's like, I think somebody should know. I'm like, okay, whatever. You want to learn? Listen, anyone could do.
Yeah,
it's a software. It's not. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, I think she's way smarter than me. I'll be honest.
I disagree with you. I'm pretty sure there's at least tens of millions of people in this country that cannot do their taxes.
Well, that's fine. That's what I'm here for. Right?
Exactly.
I've seen you present, and you've been very funny, and you've shared that your daughter is often behind some of the writing. So I think she's got some good talent that might go elsewhere. But if you can use that talent in your business, and she becomes the head of your marketing group, that would be a great thing to see.
Sounds like she's almost taking the same exact steps.
Yes.
As her
well,
old man.
I took this. So to be honest, I took the same steps as my father. As my father never wanted to be an accountant either. My father really wanted to be in advertising and marketing. He would draw cartoons and he would come up with advertisements and do the panels, with the different
storyboards.
Storyboard. Yeah. Thank you. And so he would write stories. He would write children's stories and fables. And my dad's very talented. He loved music. Can't sing at all. Can't play an instrument, but loved music. Always loved music. And he wanted to be in advertising and marketing. He always wanted to be in the creative field. Like, my dad's a super creative guy. He's actually the original Kreitzman and Kreitzman logo before the one that we have now. That's this boring, bland gold, whatever it is. He actually drew it. I remember him drawing it when I was a kid. Like, he would sit there and with like the slide rules and the rulers, and he actually drew it, and then they made it from his drawing. So he was a very creative person. And then ended up kind of similar to me, where it just basically was like, listen, I could be creative and be very poor, or I can, make some money. And, we all like to make money.
That's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Money's a good thing sometimes.
It's a good thing.
So my favorite,
as Martha Stewart says,
yes,
it's a good thing.
So my favorite question is up. I really, really want to know what your spiciest client story is, with all due respect to your clients and
spiciest
anonymity.
Client. I mean, God, I said I would answer this in the moment because there's so many great stories, and I don't want to embarrass anybody. But oh man, I mean, I've dealt with a ton of stuff. I guess. All right, so here's a funny one. That, at least I think it's funny. So we got a phone call from a client. And he goes, Josh, I need your help. I'm like, what's the matter? And he goes, I wrote myself a check for payroll and I cashed it and it bounced. I was like, okay, let me take a look at it. Send me the check, send me the bank statements. I take a look at it and there's no money in the account. And I was like, okay, well, here's your problem. There's no money in the account. You cash a check and yet there's nothing to cash it against. And he goes, but I started a business. And I said, okay, you started a business. And he goes, right. And I opened a business account. And I said, okay, you opened the business account. And then you did what? And he goes, well, then I wrote myself a check. And I'm like, okay, then what? When was the part where you opened the business account and put money in it? He goes, no, you're not understanding me. And I said, what do you mean I'm not understanding? You're not understanding. I opened a business account. And I said, what do you mean you opened a business? And then what? He said, and then I wrote myself a check. And I said, where was the part where you put the money in the account? He goes, no. When you open a business account, the government puts money in there so you could take payroll. And I said, no, this isn't Russia. That's not how it works here. This isn't a communist country. No, he goes, wait, so you're telling me when I open a business account, they don't put money in it for you? And I said, is this a serious inquiry? Is this a serious, am I being punked? Where's Ashton Kutcher?
Yeah.
Is this for real? Is this real? So that's one that I can think of off the top of my head.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I listen, things happen. I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt. I always try to think like the best of people, like you're not doing something on purpose, like it's just accidental. Like when you take money out or, you don't pay your employees, but you go on a nice $80,000 trip somewhere and,
Right.
But things happen. I get it.
Yeah.
Things occur. I try to give everyone the benefit of the doubt, though. I know we all don't do things on purpose.
That's because your brain keeps it chill.
Yeah.
I try to keep it chill. But, I always give people enough rope to hang themselves, I guess.
Why don't you let our audience know how they can connect with you and how they can find out just how chill you are?
Oh, God, that's a great question. So why are you laughing? Am I not chill? Is it me laughing because I'm not chill?
You're the most chill guest we've ever had.
Am I?
I'm waiting for you to break into am I funny? Do I make you laugh? Do you think
Like
I'm
a clown?
like a clown?
Why am I funny? Dance, Spider, dance. I'll do movie quotes with you all day if you want. How can they get in touch? I mean, email's great. Semaphore works. The thing with the lanterns where you flash the lights.
Smoke signals?
I was looking
Smoke
for
signals could work.
Kreitzman CPAs with an S on the end.com.
Kreitzman CPAs with an S at the end.com, but the link to make an appointment with me doesn't work, so don't try to do that. But you could just give us a call, 631-582-6060. That's the phone number. And if you can get through the prompts, we changed our prompts on the telephone to make it really difficult to get in touch with anyone. So probably the best way to do is to email info@kreitzmancpas.com. And that's plural, kreitzmancpas.com. That's an S as in Sam.
And we'll put that in the liner notes so that people can find it.
But we
as
try to make it
well.
really difficult to find us. We like to make it like a maze, so if you're like Theseus and you're going into the,
Sounds like
what
a
is it,
challenge.
the labyrinth.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to find the Minotaur or whatever he was doing.
The prize is to get to spend
Hercules.
time with you.
Am I mixing my metaphors
Yeah,
here?
but it's okay. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us on the Brandtelling Podcast today. We're recording here from Studio 31 at the Harborfields Library. It's a great studio, and if you want to use it, contact the library. They're happy to set you up and let you use it.
Their phone prompts are a lot better than the
Yeah.
Kreitzman and Kreitzman phone prompts. We like to make it a challenge for anyone who wants to get in
Now,
contact
the library
with
is
us.
trying to make it a little bit easier for everybody. For the Brandtelling Podcast, I'm Arthur Germain.
And I'm Asaf, the brand chef Bachman. Thank you very much, everyone. Signing off.
Thank you for joining us for the Brandtelling Podcast. If you have a story idea or would like to be a guest on the podcast, please send us an email at podcast@brandtelling.com.
So, Josh, not knowing you at all, you seem like an extremely sarcastic individual. Can you tell us about how you developed all this sarcasm?
So not many people know this, but there is a class at New Paltz where I went to college, Sarcasm 101. That's a required course for anyone who grew up in New York. And I didn't think I needed it, but quite frankly, there were people, when you go to college, when you leave high school and you go to college and you're like, I'm the best one,
Yes.
right? I'm number one.
Yeah.
And then when you get to college, you realize, oh my God, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is all number ones.
Yeah.
We're all number ones
Yeah.
and number twos. When you're in high school, you're the number one. No one's as good as me. And then you get to college, you're like, I'm the number one sarcastic guy. But then when you get into the sarcastic class and you realize, oh my God, there's so much to learn about sarcasm. I mean, there's so many different levels.
It's like a 4-year class.
I mean, you could just major in this. Like, I wish I was better at it. Let's say that. There are people.
I don't know how much
way
better
drier
at
than
sarcasm you could be.
me. I mean, I'm pretty good.
I
would
mean,
say
you're
that.
all right.
But you talked about we would talk about my daughter, like my 16-year-old. She's like a British Monty Python sarcasm. Like she is super dry.
For this generation, that's pretty.
Yes,
She's
that's
pretty good.
unheard of.
I feel bad for anybody who ends up. I used to say I feel bad for any husband, but now I can't say that. I have to say anyone because you just never know.
Any future person.
Any future person that ends up with her because she's just gonna destroy them.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Awesome. Love it. Thank you for the extended edition. I appreciate it.
No problem.
That's awesome.
These outtakes.
Yeah.